Hello guys, welcome to lesson 10-2, where we continue with looking and comparing fractions. Today's lesson, we will be comparing fractions that have the same numerator. Okay, the numerator, that's the number at the top of a fraction. And we're going to take a look how that is going to be, comparing these types of fractions will be a little different than what we did in lesson 10-1, where we compared fractions with the same denominator. Okay, so in the example that the text provides, they provide you a couple scarves, okay, and so I've already started drawing one. We'll draw a second one. And I want you to notice that these scarves are the same size. So each whole scarf is the same size as the other one. That's very important because if you're just comparing fractions of the scarves, you want to make sure that the whole scarf is equal to the other whole scarf, okay? Now, for this example, we had one scarf and we wanted to know about the size of 1/6. So how you would do that was, of course, you want to divide this scarf up into 6 equal sections. So I'm going to divide that. There's 3 there. And then there's 3 there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so we have 1/6 would be one of those, right? 1/6. One sixth. All right. And the other one, we want to compare it to 1/4. So what is 1/4 of that scarf? So we want to break this up into fourths, 4 equal parts. So we'll do the same thing. I'm going to cut this in half, and that's 2 equal parts. And then I'll cut this in half, and this in half. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And so 1/4 would be one of those 4 squares, right? So I'll color that in, and I'll go back to my pen. 1/4. And so what we want to do is we want to compare the size. Is 1/6 greater than, equal to, or less than 1/4? Okay. Well, what we've done is we've taken the scarf and we've cut it up into those equal parts, and we basically have made fraction strips out of them. And in the first scarf, we separated those into 6 equal parts, and one of them is 1/6. And you can see how big that is. It's about that big. The other scarf, we made a fraction strip out of it by separating this out into 4 equal parts. And one of those equal parts is 1/4, and it's about that big. And as you can see, just by looking at it, it looks like 1/6 is not nearly as large of a piece as 1/4. So we would say that 1/6 is less than 1/4, right? Remember that alligator always has his big hungry mouth opened towards the larger chunk. Now I also want you to notice, what else did you observe here? Look at the denominators. We have 6 and we have 4, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, 6 is bigger than 4, right? We're used to that. We're used to saying, yeah, of course, 6 is a larger number than 4, but we are not looking at whole numbers. We're looking at fractions. And remember, the denominator stands for how many equal parts are in one whole. So if you're looking at 1/6, that means this scarf has been chopped up into 6 parts. And then in this scarf, this has been chopped up into 4 parts. Well, if you have less parts, the bigger the part is going to be for the whole. And so what you're going to notice with fractions is that if the numerator is the same, and for instance, this is 1 and 1, one part here, one part there, then the bigger denominator is actually going to give you a smaller piece. Think of it like a candy bar. If you have two equal sized candy bars, one has been cut into sixths. You have 6 pieces. Another candy bar, the same size candy bar, has been cut into fourths, 4 equal sized pieces. Now, if you're totally into chocolate, into candy bar, and you want to have the most, but you're told you're only going to be able to get 1 piece out of that candy bar, are you going to want to get 1/6 or 1/4? Well, if you weren't looking at the pictures, you might say, hey, I want to go for the 1/6 because I see the number 6. That's bigger. But remember, it's about the size of the pieces. The more pieces you make out of one whole, the smaller the piece, right? So having 1/6 is less than having 1/4.